Movie story recaps here. The movie starts and we see a man in New York. His name was Eddie. He wanted to become a writer, but was unable to write his book because of lack of motivation. He wasn't getting any ideas and also wasn't very passionate about his career, wasn't focused. His girlfriend, Lindy, also breaks up with him because of his non-serious attitude towards his career. Eddie was now very depressed. When he meets one of his old friends who was now a drug dealer, Eddie tells him that he wants to write a book, but he cannot think of any ideas to write on. His friend gives him a drug and tells him that his mind will work very efficiently once he has taken it. Eddie, not wanting to do it, still takes it because he wanted to complete his book. When he reaches home, he finds his landlord there who was asking him about the rent. But as he had taken the drug, he was unable to understand her. He sees a book in her bag. After seeing it, he tells her that she was from law school. He recommends her a book which was related to her field. She gets impressed and does not say anything to him. Now whatever he has read or remembered in his entire life were coming to his mind after taking that drug. His mind was now hyperactive. His physical activities had also fastened. He cleans his messed up room. Then he calmly sits and starts to write his book. He was able to remember every single thing that had happened to him up till now. He starts to write his book and ends up writing 90 pages in a day, which was kind of unbelievable. This all had happened because of that drug. He takes his book to the publisher and comes back home. After some time, he gets a call from the publisher. She praises him and tells him that she loved the idea and the book. Now Eddie was back to his senses. The effect of the drug had fully vanished, so once again he goes to his friend who has given him the drug. He asks for more drugs, on which his friend agrees to give him, but before that he had to do a favor to him. His friend tells him something to do. He agrees and does it, but when he comes back to his apartment, he sees that someone has killed his friend. Before calling the police, he finds those drugs from his apartment and then tells everything to the police. Police ask him to be in their contact. He comes back home and once again takes another pill of that drug. His mind again gets hyperactive. He exercises and starts to learn new things. The money he had taken from his friends invests in the share market, which ends up in being successful, but Eddie wanted to be more successful. He takes money from another man and invests it into a company, resulting in his money getting doubled. He then meets his ex-girlfriend, Lindy. She gets very happy after seeing him like this because she always wanted Eddie to get successful. He was now at that stage. She once again wanted to come back in his life, which Eddie gets very happy about. Eddie notices that someone was following him. Then we can see Eddie at a different place. Next day, he had a meeting with a business tycoon. He meets him. The businessman tells everything about his company to him and asks for his suggestion. After getting to know about his company's secrets, Eddie tells him a lot of things on which he gets impressed. He gets off of his car and a headache starts. He faints and then sees himself in a different place. Like this, he experiences himself at different places. He does not understand anything. Suddenly some men start to attack him. Many fighting skills start to come into his mind. By using them, he gets an upper hand on them. In the next scene we can see Eddie waking up in his own room. Today he had a meeting with a business tycoon. He didn't want to take drugs because he didn't want to experience the same thing which happened to him yesterday again. He leaves for the meeting without taking drugs. This time he could not understand what the businessman was saying and he could not suggest anything to him. So he leaves. His health starts to get worse and he pukes. When he reaches home, he gets a call from the drug dealer's sister who asks him to meet her. Eddie also had a numbers diary of the dealer. In that diary, the dealer's customers' numbers were written. When he tries calling on every number, he gets to know that many of them are dead and some of them are in coma, which means the drug he was taking was very dangerous. He then goes to meet the dealer's sister. She tells him that she also used to take the drugs he was taking. Furthermore, she tells him that she had stopped taking it, and if he also wants to save himself, he should quit taking it. Eddie leaves from there. Suddenly he meets the man from whom he had taken money. He asks him about the money, when suddenly one pill drops from his pocket. The other man picks it up and eats it. He feels very nice after taking it. He says that he does not want his money back, and instead asks him for more pills. Eddie gives him all of the pills he had at that time. He even gives him money. After coming home, Eddie tells everything to Lindy, who was now his girlfriend again. He tells her that he cannot leave it in one go. She wanted to help him, so she leaves to bring some drugs for him. The man who used to follow Eddie follows him, trying to hide. She then shares her experience after taking it. Eddie says that she does not have to take it and he himself will leave it. Once again, that man comes to Eddie's house from whom Eddie had taken money and had given some pills. Now he wanted to have more dose. On the other side, Eddie once again goes to the meeting, where it ends up being successful. He also apologizes for his behavior in their previous meeting and tells him that he wasn't feeling good that day. He gets to know more about the drug. He discovers that he does not have to drink a lot of alcohol after taking it. Instead, he has to drink water a lot and get proper sleep. He then again goes to meet that business tycoon. He introduces Eddie to many other businessmen. A meeting takes place where Eddie impresses everyone. Means now he was going to work with these businessmen. After coming home he discovers that someone has been there as his room was all messed up, so he shifts to a new house where the security system was very good, and moreover he appoints 2 men as his bodyguards. He then gets a call from police regarding the dealer's death. They were suspecting him. So he appoints a lawyer for himself who will make him free from every charge. Once again he goes for a meeting in which the head doesn't show up, instead his wife comes. She tells all of them that they cannot take any decision until her husband is fine again. They all get to know that he is in coma. When the lady goes, Eddie sees the man who used to follow him with her. He was actually the head's driver. Eddie gets very shocked after seeing this. He then meets the other businessman who was also very sad after seeing the head in coma, because until he was going to coming back to his senses, they won't be able to finalize the deal. Eddie goes to the washroom to take pills, but notices that he did not have any pills. Someone had stolen it, and those were stolen by his lawyer who freed him from charges. He then heads home. After watching news he gets to know that his lawyer had cheated on him. On the other hand, the man also arrived at his apartment from whom he had taken money back then. Now he wanted pills, not his money. Eddie could not face them because he had no pills. Even if he had one of the pills, he could have eaten it and faced them when suddenly he remembers that he put one pill in a box. He finds it, but before he could have it the man comes in and takes it from him. He tells Eddie that injects this drug is more efficient as its effect lasts longer and does not have had any side effect like this. He injects it, but before he could do something, Eddie kills him and licks his blood, by which his mind gets hyperactive. He kills everyone there and goes to meet that driver who used to follow him around. He tells him that his boss who was in coma is no more. Moreover, he tells him that he also used to take those drugs and now he had no more of them, resulting him in going coma. Eddie says that his lawyer used to work for his boss, so why didn't he give those to him, on which the driver tells that he cheated on him. Now both Eddie and the driver go to the lawyer's house where they find the pills. The scene then shifts to 1 year after, where we can see that Eddie's book had been published and was now very famous. Moreover, he participates in being the president. Here one of his friends, who was also back then his business partner, comes to meet him and say that he knows how he is always doing everything correctly and how he is always hyperactive. He also tells him that he has bought the whole company which used to make those pills and even had closed that lab. Means that he will not be getting those pills anymore, and if he still wants to have them, he will have to help him. Means when he will become the president of the USA, he will keep helping him. But Eddie refuses to help him. Actually, both of them had accepted that Eddie will become the future president of the USA, and now he wanted to do good things only, so he refuses. Eddie even tells him that about the pills he was talking about, he had stopped taking them from a very good time. And even tells him that he modified those pills in his own lab and removed all of its side effects, and that he made its advanced version and took it only once, resulting in those effects running in me 24/7. The businessman tries to threaten him by saying that he will tell everyone about his reality, on which Eddie says now a car will crash into the other, and right on that time a car crashes into another car. Eddie tells him that he was 50 steps ahead of him. His power was so strong that he could even see the future now. He also tells his partner that he will be getting many heart diseases very soon, so he should take care of himself. The businessman understands that Eddie was very ahead of him and that he cannot win against him. He leaves from there. Eddie then goes to meet Lindy, his girlfriend. He then gives the order to the waiter in Chinese language, while Lindy was thinking if Eddie had stopped taking those drugs or not. While she was staring at him, Eddie says what, and the movie ends here. This movie was released in 2011, and its rating on IMDb is 7.4. Thank you for watching.